Okay, guys, let's talk about our story for the week. So, first off, is your words to know. Number one is bird. Like an eagle is a bird with big, strong wings. There's a picture of an eagle. Number two is fly. Bats are mammals that are able to fly. Number three is both. Like the lizard has both stripes and spots. Number four is long. This kangaroo has a long tail. Number five, eyes. This dog has blue eyes. Number six, ducks can either swim or fly. Or. Number seven, those. Those fish are not the same colors. Number eight, walk. The elephants walk together in a group. All right, so this week we're going to be talking all about animals. So here's what our paragraph says about animals. All birds have wings, but not all birds fly. Ooh, that's kind of a different thought, isn't it? Think about that again. All birds have wings, but not all birds fly. So we're going to be thinking about some birds before our story that do not fly. Think about that. Some animals have legs and some do not. Fish live in water all the time. Other animals live on land. So we've been learning about habitats in our science. So that's going to be tying in with our habitats. Like a fish's habitat would be water, but other animals' habitats would be on the land. If you go to the science page, we're going to be talking about the habitat in the mountains, what animals live in mountains. You will read about how animals are alike and different in animal groups. So animal groups. Our author was James Bruchac. James Bruchac has many interests. He's a writer, a storyteller, an animal tracker, and a wilderness guide. Together with his father, Joseph Bruchac, he wrote the books How Chipmunk Got His Stripes and Turtles Race with Beaver. So if you get a chance, you might read those. This is an informational text. It will give you facts about a topic. So we're going to be looking at some real life information and real life photos about animals, starting with this super cute little polar bear. Look at him, he's so cute. And we're going to be thinking about what makes birds different from mammals. And I know that's a funny new word, but we're going to learn what mammals are in this story. So here we go. If you look, all of your pictures have what's called captions or titles under them. So this is a fish, reptile, amphibian, bird, and a mammal. These are all of our different animal groups. So let's take a look at 5 animal groups. How are animals in a group the same? So we're going to go check it out. First animal group we're going to talk about is fish. And do you see this photograph of the fish? Look at all these words with these lines pointing to the fish. Those are labels. Labels tell you about the parts of the fish. So this little spiky thing right here is his fin. This is his eye. This is his mouth. His gill, that's what he breathes through, is his gill. And his other fin down here on the side. And his tail. This fish looks like off Finding Nemo. I think he's a clownfish. Doesn't he look like Nemo? All right, it says fish must live in water. Fish have gills that help them breathe in water. Fish have fins and tails. Those help them swim. Oh, neat. Look at this guy. Can you see him? He's really hard to see. He's using, remember how we talked about when we were drawing our shark in our book, we were talking about camouflage and counter shading. This guy has camouflage. He's blending in so that something that might want to eat him can't see him very well. It says fish can be many shapes and sizes. Can you find a fish in this picture? Look at him. He's a good hider. Okay, now we're going to talk about the animal group called reptiles. So here's all of our labels that are telling us about the picture of the reptile. So scales, look at the scales on this guy. They look like they'd be really rough, don't they? Here's his tail, legs, and his eye. It says reptiles can live on land. Some like to be in the water, but they can't breathe underwater. They do not have gills. They just kind of like to be in the water sometimes. Reptiles have scales on their skin. Many reptiles hatch from eggs. Oh, look at the little sea turtle. He's hatching from his egg. Snakes cannot walk. They do not have legs. This snake slides its long body on the grass. So here's something interesting about snakes. You know, it says many reptiles hatch from eggs. There's two different kinds of snakes. There's the kind of snakes that lay eggs and their babies hatch out of eggs. And then some snakes have their eggs kind of hatch in their bellies, and then they give birth to live baby snakes. So if you want to learn two fancy new words to show off to people, snakes that lay eggs are called oviparous, and snakes that have live babies are called viviparous or viviparous, if you want to say it real fast. Viviparous have live babies, and oviparous lay eggs. So if you want to learn those words, you can impress somebody. All right, our next animal group is called an amphibian, and there's another good long word you can impress somebody with. Amphibian. Let's look at the labels. Here's his eyeball. He has wet skin and he has legs. So amphibians are really interesting to me. Amphibians spend time both on land and in water. They do not have scales. Their skin is wet. A lot of amphibians, guys, use their skin to actually breathe through, so it has to stay wet or they'll die. So look here. What are those? You know what those are. Those are tadpoles. Those tadpoles actually do have gills when they're little. So they're sort of like fish. They cannot live outside of the water. But when they get big, their gills go away and they turn into either frogs or toads, and they're amphibians, and they can no longer breathe underwater. Some frogs like to be in the water and spend a lot of time in the water, but they don't actually breathe through the water. They still have to come up for air. So it's kind of interesting, the big change that a tadpole makes to turn into a frog. I will have a video in my reading room where you can see tadpoles turn into a frog, so go check that out. It's pretty neat. So amphibians hatch from eggs. Tadpoles hatch and grow to be frogs. Here's our next animal group called birds. So it has the eye, the bill, the wing, and feathers. A bird has feathers and wings. This bird's eyes are on the side of its face. Many birds can fly. Oh, now we're going to talk about some birds that cannot fly, though. Remember how when we started our book, we were going to learn about birds that do not fly? So many birds can fly. Some can run or swim fast, though. So look at this guy. What is he? Yeah, he's an ostrich. Look at these big, long, strong legs. He can run really fast, but he can't fly. He has wings, but he can't fly. He can just run real fast. And look at these little old penguin guys. They cannot fly either, but they use their wings to swim under the water. It sort of looks like they're flying underwater. It's really neat. Okay, birds hatch from eggs. This hen made a nest for its eggs. Here's the last kind of animal group. It's called a mammal. A mammal here's its eye, hair, tail, and legs. Mammals can be many shapes and sizes. They have hair on their skin. A mammal mom can make milk for its baby. Lots of mammals live on land, but some live in the water. So I want you guys to think about that too. Mammals have hair on their skin. Feel your arms. Do you have hair on your arms and hair on top of your head? Yes, you do. And when you were a baby, what did you like to eat? You had milk to live on, so you are a mammal. So it says, did you know you are a mammal too? You want to hear something crazy? You know what else is a mammal? A whale that lives in the ocean is a mammal. When you look really close, they do have little fuzzy hairs on them, and they feed their baby whales milk, and baby whales are called calves, just like a calf out of a cow. A whale has a baby calf, and it drinks its mama's milk. Isn't that crazy? So a whale is not a fish. It's a mammal. All right, so that was the end of animal groups. Now we're going to read the little story that kind of goes along with it. It's called Animal Picnic, and if you're at home and want to practice, you can get some people to help you with this because you need some characters in your story. So here's the characters. You have fox, cow, and bird. So what you do is you get two people to play with you, and you each decide what you want to be. One of you gets to be the fox, one gets to be the cow, and one gets to be the bird, and you can make silly voices if you want. I'm not going to because I'm trying to help you read the words, but you can make silly voices at home with whoever you get to do it with. So somebody gets to be fox. When you see fox, you speak. Excuse me. And this is what you say. You say, hi, cow and bird. How was your trip? And then somebody gets to be the cow and they say, well, I had to walk to get here. Then somebody gets to be the bird, and the bird says, I had to fly. And then you can point at the cow's basket. And if you want to really get into character, you could dress up as a cow or a fox and carry a basket. And the fox says, what food did you bring for our picnic? Cow says, I brought grass. I used my flat teeth to grind it. Fox says, I brought meat. I used my long, sharp teeth to eat it. Cow says, we both have teeth, but we eat different things. And the fox says, what did you bring, bird? Okay, so that was the first part of the story. So when your friends, whoever's fox says this part, whoever's cow says this part, and whoever's bird says this part. I did not bring grass or meat. I brought seeds. Birds don't have any teeth. How will you eat those seeds without teeth? Watch this! And bird eats some seeds. Yum, yum, yum. So if somebody wanted to play the bird, you could even pretend to eat seeds when you do this. You could put on a play for somebody if you wanted using this little story. So that, my friends, is your reader and your stories for the week. Practice every day, and you can listen to this one as much as you need to, but I would rather you be practicing and reading it on your own after you listen to me. So go ahead and go check that out and keep practicing.